One of the biggest things we're going to see today is fair share is back. It was a big thing we had 2 years ago, fair share. It was something that was very controversial, something we debated long into the night. It's the next stage. We said at the time that fair share was going to be back. It is. And now, the even worse part is they're taking away one of the biggest pieces that was in that legislation that we settled on at the end of that night, late into the night. They're taking away the piece that the legislature is actually going to vote and support whatever the findings are out of fair share. It's the biggest piece that I see in there. That's going to be a very big cog. Talked to a lot of Democrats who have a major problem with that piece, and I think it's going to be something we're going to have a long debate on today. Yeah, so fair share is the allocation that was approved by us to look into the methodology of breaking up the number of affordable housing units that need to be happening in every single town. So all 169 municipalities will have their fair share of how many units they're supposed to have. That is done by a methodology that really is flawed from the beginning. It's based on the amount of income that the town really has, not necessarily the size of the town, not necessarily the makeup of the town. It's really based on how much money the town makes. And the idea that that is how it's being determined is a major flaw, but the idea is that everyone's going to be allocated those numbers, and those are going to be the numbers that they're going to have to come up with as we move forward for the next few years if this actually legislation passes.
25% of the allocation, that's what the majority leader said this morning. I mean, was that a proposal, a compromise with you all, or are you happy with that?
No, I think it's a compromise in his head because the number was so outlandish that he realized 100%, 50%, he had to go all the way down to 25% to make these methodology even work. The methodology is flawed, and that's the only way to not even appeal to us. It was not negotiated with us. It was appeal to some of his caucus that also still think, even at 25%, that it's massively flawed.
I know you all have been in these committee meetings where they've talked about these ideas.
Yeah, we've had a couple different conversations. There's 51 sections. There are some stuff that I'll talk locally on the floor about. The governor has a bill in there that's a new piece. That's more of incentive based. There's a couple pieces that are incentive based. When you see incentives, you see those carrots. Take away the sticks. Something what unfortunately 830G has not done. And listen, we're still having these conversations because 830G has not worked. That's why we're still having these conversations. That's why when people say, why is there not enough affordable housing? Because 830G has not worked. It's been decades that bill's around. We need to make changes. We need to understand what worked. I had a long conversation with the majority leader the other day about looking at 830G. It's one section in the bill. It's about having his majority leader roundtable talk about the denominator piece. The piece of if you build more housing, not affordable housing, it actually hurts you in terms of your percentage on affordable housing. It actually disincentivizes you to do so. We need to correct that. If not, then you're not going to have any housing because people are afraid to have their percentage go down. So we have to keep working on it. It's not complete. It's not ready. But yeah, there are a few things in there we'll speak highly on. Yeah.